So you're going to be learning a lot from them, and over the semester, they're going to be modeling some strategies for you to utilize. And yesterday, I mentioned that this afternoon, Dr. Norma Guerra and I had planned this afternoon to provide you a strategy, a tool that you can use in the classroom. And as you can see, all of you should have a graphic organizer. So Dr. Guerra is not here. She wasn't able to make it. She is an associate VP for diversity and had other meetings that they asked her to attend. So Austin and I are going to be facilitating the session. But let me give a little bit of background about NEDA. So this graphic organizer is called NEDA. Dr. Norma Guerra, she used to be an English high school teacher, and she's been working at the university for many years. As a counselor, she used to work here at the university, but then also provide some counseling support in the community. And she always felt that you receive the training and you're out there providing the support, but she wanted a tool that she could carry with her in something simple. So she had this idea, and she said, well, what if I use a graphic organizer? And she started with just a stick figure, just sticks, the little circle for the head. And she started using it with children, with youth and adults. And then when I met her in 2003, 2004, when we established the Academy for Teacher Excellence Research Center here at UTSA, she brought the school and she said, what do you think about this? I've been using it and it's effective for counseling support. But she said, I would like to try it to provide the support to teacher candidates. And why do you think that she was thinking, with that counseling background and coming into the Academy for Teacher Excellence, that she felt that teacher candidates could benefit from the counseling support. And one of the reasons is because the founder of the Academy for Teacher Excellence is our associate dean, Dr. Belinda Flores. Dr. Belinda Flores had, she also had an idea when she was a doctoral student at UT. And she is native. They both are natives from San Antonio. They're very committed to the San Antonio community. And what they've been experiencing here at UTSA was that about 50% of incoming teacher candidates, freshmen, teacher candidates, were leaving. They were academically dismissed, or they were not completing their teacher preparation program. So we started to explore what are the barriers, what is it that is impacting our teacher candidates that we're able to recruit them, but then something happens and there's something going on. So we started to implement the leader model as a tool to help our future teachers. And then we learned that this tool was not just good to provide the support for our teacher candidates, but also that our teacher candidates could use this tool in the classroom with their students. So one of our goals has always been to provide psychosocial emotional support in addition to the academic and professional preparation to prepare our future teachers. So Dr. Guerra and another team of faculty have been analyzing all that information that they have gathered and the feedback that they have gathered from pre-clinical teachers and clinical teachers and also new teachers. We had a huge grant where we were supporting teachers for 3 consecutive years after graduating. So it was a transition from a learning community into a community of practice. From your clinical teaching, we were paired with a mentor teacher in addition to the supervisor, and the mentor teacher provided that support for 3 years. And one of the reasons was because just like what we have seen here at UTSA, that we were losing our teacher candidates the first year, in the freshman year, they were leaving the university. The school districts, back then, 20 years ago, were seeing also a high attrition rate of teachers. And now, the past 2 years is even higher. So you're probably looking at the 6 figure and you're thinking, okay, so how is that going to help me? So what we're going to do, what we're going to do today, we're going to do hands-on activity. We're going to walk you through the Libre stick figure. And who knows what the word libre means? That's a Spanish word, yes. Free. Yes, libre is free in Spanish. So, and it's an acronym that L stands for listening. I is for identify. B is for brainstorm, and then the R is reality check. So if you see the little stick figure with arms extended, so and then we have E at the bottom that says encouragement. So that's the name of this graphic organizer. So what we have learned is that there's a lot of factors that impact teacher candidates, and it's not only to be successful. And what we want is that all of you, at the end of the day, you're successful, you finish, and you're fully certified, and you go out to work as a teacher of record and not as a paraprofessional or as a substitute. But what are some of the factors that are impacting your life? A lot of times, and I guess I'm going to ask, like, what are some of the things that you're worried about right now? ¿Qué preocupaciones? What questions do you have? So the first part is the L, listen and list challenges that you are experiencing. So the hair, back then when we used to use the stick figure, Dr. Guerra used to say, oh, you can add extensions because it can be something with finances. It can be something with relationships. It can be, with your family, extended family, or academics, or just different things. So, what are the challenges? I want you to think about your position right now, where you are, and what are some of the challenges that you are experiencing. And you don't have to say, share with anybody. this activity, I'm not gonna pick it up. It's gonna be yours. You're gonna have your own, our goal is, that at the end of the day, you have a plan. So we're gonna, guide you through this graphic organizer where you need to take time to think and just listen to yourself and think about what are some of the challenges that I'm facing. Well, is it gonna be, you know, transportation going back and forth to the school? You know, materials, resources. What are some of the things that are happening? And you can put anything. And if you need to add extensions, you know, those lines, you can add hair extensions or so I'm gonna give you a few minutes, couple of minutes for you to write down all the challenges that you're experiencing.
So I want to preface the next part of this activity with the assurance that if you feel uncomfortable at any point in time during this process, please just stop. You can stop. It's okay. It doesn't have to be completed today. It doesn't have to be completed together. If you're feeling very uncomfortable and you feel like you need to get some time and some place to recenter yourself, please feel free to step outside. If you need to speak with someone, let us know. Because sometimes things do come up during these processes and we want you to be safe. So the next step in your leader role is identify. And that is that you're going to find one concern or one theme in your challenges and your worries, and write it in the form of a question under the identify. And that's something that you are prepared to focus on for the rest of the activity. So you might pick just one thing from your list of challenges. You might look at a few of them and say, there's kind of a common theme here. So if you're listing that Sorry, is there a question? Okay. So if your challenge is, for example, you list, I'm really worried about transportation, getting to and from school and to work. I'm worried about making time for my work. And I'm also worried about getting all of my studying and my testing done. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of concerns around your time and how you're going to use your time. So you might identify a question about how can I improve my time management, or how can I manage my time effectively? Whatever you want to focus on, that's for you. It may not even be about school. It might not be about anything that we talk about. It could be very personal. That's fine. This is your activity for you to explore. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to identify your focus for the rest of this linguistic figure in a question form and write it in the
Okay, if you have identified your question, um, do we have somebody that would like to volunteer and read the out loud? Yes. Okay, that's a good question. How can I pass my STR exam? STR, Science of Teaching Reading, yes. Very good, very focused. And that's what you need to do. Make sure that your question, that you have identified an item and then you have come up with a question. So now we need to think about brainstorming options. And it can be realistic or unrealistic. So just make a list of all the possible solutions, options.
You'll need about 3 of these at minimum, but you can feel free to do lots and lots of brainstorming. Be creative as you'd like, realistic, unrealistic as you'd like. So feel free to explore all possibilities.
In this brainstorming phase, uh, as we stated earlier, it can be, uh, the list can be as long as you wish, but we need at least a minimum of three. And also the option, the suggestion can be anything, things that are real and not real, out of this world. And Dr. Guerra often shares a story of this uh, preschooler that she was working with, and she was trying to help him. And he was uh, acting up, and she just sat there and talked with him and said, well, what's going on? So he started telling her all these things that were happening at home with his dog, and he was very upset with some of his friends, and then he said, well, uh, I want to know how can how can I get my friends to behave? So then that was one of that was his question, and then in the brainstorming option, he said, the little boy said, I'm gonna get a monkey, a mini monkey, and that monkey's gonna come and fight those kids that are not behaving. This was that brainstorming stage, and I often see that they're like, no, you're very creative. So, it is okay for you to use your creativity and use this anything. This is that time to be creative and use this any possible solution option.
So once you have your brainstorm options, what you need to do on the reality test across from each option, write down what would that look like? What are the possible outcomes? How would you go about enacting that activity or that change?
But before you do that, go to the reality test to write down. Well, that, oh yes, sorry, my brain was already there.
And while you're doing that, you feel free to explore positive and negative outcomes. You don't have to think about the way it won't work. You can think about the way that it will work for you. And then you may come up with like multiple, and that's fine. Just make sure you know that like these three are associated with this one brainstorm idea. These two are this brainstorm idea. And once you complete that, I want you to look at all of your options and all of the outcomes that are associated with them and pick one that fits your needs the best. That's the most important part. Is it's not necessarily the best, it's not necessarily the worst, it's not necessarily the most realistic, but what fits your needs the best.
Okay, so now that you have identified the, at least, three possible realistic, solutions. Put them in the order. So look at, what are the steps for your best solution? So in the reality test, just rank them, first, second, and third. The order that, you would do those, steps, to help you address, the question, the challenge. But then you're gonna go to the bottom where, the R, that's, the encouraging piece, because now you have an opportunity to, brainstorm and to think of all the challenges that you are, experiencing. And as I mentioned earlier, it can be academic, it can be, financial, it can be, with, family, relationships, academic advisors or professors, whatever it is. Then identify your question and brainstorm your options. So now you have, you did your reality check. So now we're gonna go to the encouragement piece. Because, by the end of the day, we want to make sure that you have a plan of action that is your plan based on your needs and the challenge that you want to address. So on the right, you're going to write the steps for your solution. What are the steps for, your solution? And just, make a list.
So for example, if your best reality test was, your best brainstorm option was, say you're having time management issues, was to make a master planner schedule for your semester. Your steps would be that you need to find a document that's gonna work for you, right? So you might want to make it online, you might want to use an online calendar, you might want to get a physical planner, whatever is gonna work for you. So that's the first step, is finding out what format's gonna work for you. The second step is gathering all of the information you need to add to that plan. And then the third step is planning out the timelines and the dates for it.
So I see that, there's several of you that have identified, the steps and listed, those steps. So now on the left side, you need to come up with your action plan. So what does an action plan, look like? Anybody? The actual steps you take, and then we have, if you see the prompt, there's in parentheses, with detail and timeline. That's what is gonna help you, to have a doable action plan.
So for example, we were talking about the timeline of the master planner. My first step is to identify what kind of calendar or planner format is going to work for me. So under my action plan, one of the first things I'm going to do is look at Google Calendars, go through Staples and get a physical calendar and see which one is going to work better for me. And I'm going to do that next Monday. By next month. And then my next step. Is there a question? Thank you. My next step is to start organizing and gathering all of those dates and times that I need. So on my action plan, I'm going to get on the Blackboard, download my syllabi, look through them, gather all of those dates, look at my work schedule, see what I'm scheduled to work, what I predict might have shifts. I don't necessarily know in advance what my shifts will be. Or if I work on like a on-demand job, that I can look at what I'm going to be available and what I'm expected to make good money. Write down those dates, and I'll do that. So I have until next Monday to identify the format. So I'll say by that Friday.
Okay, and the last step is, for you to give yourself some words of encouragement. Think about, what words you would use to encourage, yourself. Okay, I feel very, you got it. Just do it. Okay, do we have a volunteer, somebody that would like to share, with the group?
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede, very good. Yes. Thank you. Okay, yes. Can you repeat that? That's right, that's right. I know I have to get, loans and, that was my encouragement. You know, once I have my degree, my education, nobody can take that away from me. And the money, the loan, I don't have anybody to give me money to pay. I have to borrow, but then I knew that once I got a job, I was gonna have that salary coming in, and I'd be able to pay, probably for the rest of my life, if I didn't. I ended up, paying all my loans, doctorate, everything, and I have new money, so. Yes, so this is private, and that's right, don't be, afraid to take some loans if you need them to finish your education.
I'm the kind of WERK work.
Yes. Somebody that would like to share with us, the Libre organizer. If you feel, only if you feel comfortable sharing, with a group. If you were able to go through all the steps and come up with an action plan, because this is something that you can stay with you and implement. Anybody? Okay, I have two, great. Come over here. Okay. But did you please, did you go through all the steps? So you only did a few steps. It's perfectly fine if you did a few steps. Okay, you want to share with me?
I have two things I was continuing with, so it was like working after being in a school full day, which I have to work. There's no way that I cannot. I have to provide for my child. Teach one-on-one class, like we've been in observation that we teach like an hour and a half or so. But right now that you have to teach like slowly, step by step, going like full day, like 5, 6 classes, it's kind of like, I'm like, I don't know how to do it. But unrealistic solution for working is not working, which is unrealistic for sure. Reality solution for that is work less, which I already have a day less than what I usually work. A solution is to do step one step at a time and see where we're going after that.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you. There's more that volunteers.
Okay. So we have money for the challenge. And we also have, well, I'm gonna do one. I'm not gonna be working on money, but I'm gonna also be working on another certification. And then my question was graduate question mark. My realistic and unrealistic option was apply to aid, the unrealistic is get aid. Like the other certifications. On the right, writing papers for the applications, finding time for the other thing we'll be working on. And then steps, of course, time management, write everything down, everybody has a calendar on their phone, maybe just remind them. And then actually try and apply right now, so that probably will need it. And then, yeah, do the certification stuff, if they're working on after school, like on the gym. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. So now I'm going to ask that collectively, you did your individual legal state figure. So now collectively as a large group, I just want for you to shout, some of the challenges that you're, facing. And then together, we're going to agree in, one of the challenges to identify, and, also you can help with, writing so that way it can be, projected. So, in preparation for the semester, what are the challenges that you're facing? Okay, not able to work full time? Paying bill? Money? Living on your savings and passing
Placement.
the exam. I heard someone said placement and lack of communication. Workload. Okay, what else? A car, transportation. Overwhelmed. Yes. What else? Okay.
No, I'm 24 hours, they're not.
Okay, supply. The need for supply for not having money, okay? What else? Time management. Okay, hiring. Getting employees, yes. Okay,
Just like get back to work.
anybody else? Okay, procrastination is a big challenge, yes. Anybody else? Lack of sleep, okay.
So it's possible.
And you can tell us.
You get home and you still jam.
Okay, so what challenges as a group, which one is the one that you would like for us to process?
Money.
Money, okay.
I'm gonna go to.
Okay, so I heard, money, communication. Okay, so how many, money, how many items are related to money? Exam, pay bill. Okay, so, okay, so can you give me a question for, the challenge that you have identified? Okay, how am I gonna support myself? Financially support myself. Okay, so now that we have identified the focus of how am I going to support myself financially? Financially support myself. What are some options? Okay, it's hard to hear, so if you can just raise your hand and then, figure it out.
Use a low interest credit card and pay it back once you get back to work. Donate your plasma and your and your revolving, you don't need.
taking on $20,000 in loans and hope that you buy in passes that they will get it all. Sure.
Okay, from all these options, now we can really say, let's circle the ones that, are, the realistic options. Do you want to label them one through, just number them?
I still think the class was really good.
Okay, the three that are, doable. That are not gonna get you in trouble, and that are not going, the ones that are not gonna make you lose your certification before you earn it. Okay, so now we're gonna transfer those, realistic options to the reality, check. And you can rewrite them or you can just draw the line. Okay, low interest credit cards.
I work hustle in the summer, like you can hustle in the summer and work do lots of hours in the summer, even if you don't get out of the beach right away, and you can pay it off. You wanna hustle in the summer after student teaching is over, get in as many hours as you can before the school year starts. So you can pay off that credit card, whatever you need to buy with that. Okay.
getting promoted at the company I work for right now, I'm getting paid more to teach than to teach. That's a good reality, so.
Okay, so what are the, top three? Of them? Well, that was an additional.
We haven't finished reality testing everything
Reality testing?
because we need to reality test everything. Donate plasma, take out extra student loans. Okay, I've got this one.
So let's start, reality testing some of these. So taking out a low interest credit card, right, you have to pay it back. Are there any other outcomes to that?
You could get yourself into pretty bad credit card debt.
You could risk getting into a credit debt that you're a debt hole that you cannot get out of.
But at the same time, you also have to pay back loans. Take out more loans, unless you want Biden. But if you take out more loans, then he will pay off, then you. So like usually credit card debt is a lot easier to manage, the just payments are way lower. Depending on how much.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Depending on
factors.
how much you put on that card, if you put like $10,000, yeah, you're probably gonna do something.
What about donating plasma? What are the possible outcomes of that? Yeah, there are some medical risks donating plasma. They have to sign a waiver. You can feel tired afterwards, which is not going to help if you're feeling exhausted already. That's true. You get less money each time.
You have to.
Some people cannot donate.
Can't just like go in.
It's not a regular source of income.
Do for a quick buck once. More motivation to get money.
It's a little bit louder here than I'd like, if we can zone it down a little bit. Perfect. And then lastly, let's just reality test our ride share delivery. What does it look like? What are the possible consequences? High mileage on any car that you're using for that. Absolutely, you just spend money there.
Yeah, you know, it might not be 100% reliable.
Not always reliable. I have already just seen the worst as use.
More reliable than mine.
Anything else? More risk of accidents, yeah, sure. All right. Looks like we've identified quite a few possible outcomes to these plans. What do you guys think is the best one? It certainly is an option, not for all of us. Oh no, the sugar daddy's fine for me, but I'm never gonna find.
Credit card or the phone.
Yeah, the credit card and the loan seems pretty doable as long as you cut your costs, you try to minimize how much you're spending each month, and you manage the balance on your credit card pretty responsibly. That's pretty doable.
If you qualify, that's true. So maybe it's a combination, right? Like, it doesn't have to be just one thing. Maybe you get a credit card and it gives you rideshare. That way, when you have money from rideshare, you can spend it. And when you don't, you have a credit card for backup. You can work during the weekends. Yeah, if you have the right job, you can work overnight.
No sleep.
Now, let me say that that's not always the best. That's a lot sometimes. I had a friend who taught, which we were in our master's program for ESL together, and she taught Chinese children, which means she had to be up at 3 a.m. every morning, energetic and ready to go to teach those kids. Then she had to be up for classes. So it's hard. Oh yeah, we're on the struggle bus. So let's go ahead and move forward with, I think, the rideshare plus the credit card. That'll be our best solution. So what are the steps?
Pick out a credit card that has, like, make sure you qualify for a credit card.
Yeah, find a good credit card that you qualify for.
Get something with good benefits. Like, I have Southwest, I get airline miles. Yeah. Although they've got it with some hot water. Good thing I wasn't flying.
Okay. All right. What's the next step to getting that credit card? Applying to the credit card, yeah. And then personally, my next step to that would be use it responsibly and manage the balance well. And then for finding on-demand work or work that fits around your schedule as a student teacher, what's the first step?
Determining what your schedule first looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Figuring out what your teaching schedule is going to look like and your class schedule if you're doing or you're doing residency.
Wait,
Yes.
I applied for me not to work.
I'm sorry. Yes. But this is your linear model. If you make the executive decision to work during student teaching, I'm not in a position at this moment to judge.
Gotta do it.
So personally, if I'm looking for a job, I'm going to ask around to my friends and to my parents, like what positions are going to work for me. Because maybe I can get like an overnight courier job working for a hospital. Call centers, sometimes those work great. Overnight tutoring, if you're doing with ESL. Babysitting.
Like Uber Eats or something.
Yeah, on-demand, horrible, soul-sucking job everywhere. It's something. It's nuggets. But personally, my first step, if I'm thinking about it, is talking to some people and getting recommendations for what kind of positions I could do. I mean, my brother was a monitoring technician at the hospital overnight, which means he sat in the closet and stared at EKGs. And like, he couldn't study while he was doing that. So And then once you have talked to some people about a couple of positions or jobs that you might be interested, what's the next step? Apply for it. There's a question? You're right. You also need to balance sleep. You have to balance studying time. Although I had a friend who, my best friend in the whole wide world, who worked as like a ambulance dispatch, and he got to sleep during his job. So he was not doing emergency dispatch. All right, I feel like this is logically as far as we need to go. Because once we apply, it's sort of not in our hands anymore. So what's a good timeline for finding a good credit card? Well, you know a credit card that you qualify for right now.
No, you can start finding them.
You can start now. What's a good deadline?
Probably.
Sunday? Did you hear Sunday? Sure. No, yeah, Sunday works. So this Sunday. All right, and then what about applying? What's a good deadline for that? By the following Friday? And then figuring out your semester schedule. How long are we going to give ourselves? I heard 2 weeks. I feel like an auctioneer, 2 weeks. Do I have money? No, we'll say 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from today.
Some people don't have their teachers.
That's the latest. I heard by next week.
And if you get done early, mazel tov. Ask about jobs that work with my schedule. How long? 2 more weeks. I heard a month. I heard 2 weeks. Just asking around for what kind of job they could do. Now that you have your schedule, you know what kind of timeline you have. But maybe a month doesn't work for you because you need to get earning like yesterday. That's true, yeah. So you can start asking now. We'll say now and then ongoing. And then when should you apply?
After you figure out your schedule.
Yeah, you should start applying after, because then you can start talking with them like, I'll be available these days, these times. Now for the very, very, very important question. What are our words of encouragement?
Get that bread.
So let's get that bread. All right.
Get that bread.
We did it. We did a whole Libre model. How amazing. Everyone, yeah, everyone applaud for your time. You know it's not. We just did it.
And this process can take, give us 5 minutes. If you have a person that is goal focused, that knows already what the challenge is, what the person wants to focus on, and or, as long as, 20, 30 minutes or an hour. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is a graphic organizer that you can have, with you during you have, this particular handout, you can just grab a pencil and write if you're working, in the classroom with kids and something is happening and you can pull that file to the side or spend a few minutes and, very quickly, you find out that, well, what's going on, and it's very important, for you to just listen, listen to what are, those challenges and then help, the child, the student tell you, what is the one challenge that he or she wants to work on, and you're just there to listen and help with the process. And like I said, Dr. Guerra has been doing this for 20 years. She has done a lot of research and published several books, and both not only with counseling students to train them, but also with teacher candidates and with supervisors. And those teachers that implemented it, they saw a difference where they were able to build a relationship with the students, that classroom behavior improved because the students feel like, okay, there's someone here that is not telling me what to do. It's listening to me. It's helping me process. These are my ideas, and I have my plan that he or she didn't tell me what to do. I'm doing it. And so this is the one approach that we wanted to present. And of course, if it's something of interest, we can work with your supervisor. That's what we do. We identify the supervisors, the students that are interested, and then Dr. Guerra and her team, they'll go during a seminar session and go and do a more in-depth. But the other thing is that you're going to notice that the deck of slides that we have on the agenda, there's the social emotional learning and coaching, because we have counseling practicum students that are also, this is their master level, this is the last year, and they also have to do their clinical experience, and they have to do so many hours, contact hours with individual students, with group of students. So they have been trained with this model, and they're making themselves available to provide any support, because clinical teaching is challenging, and it's not easy. It's not a job, just an 8-hour job with all the planning and everything else that you have to do. So sometimes it gets very stressful, and we want to recommend for you not to go to the teacher lounge and vent. Yes, because you're gonna hear teachers, you're gonna hear mentor teachers that are there talking about students or venting, and you as a clinical teacher sometimes, you're there and then they make you feel, you're part of the team, but they're employed and you're not. And we want to make sure that, you don't get into that, or if you're frustrated, these practicum counseling students, we call them self-coaches, social emotional learning counseling coaches. They will make themselves available to meet with you one-on-one, or have a small group session to help you process. So that that is if it gets stressful and you need a person that is neutral. Sometimes la familia, they don't understand, family, sometimes they don't understand, what's happening. And your friends, they're so busy, they're also doing clinical teaching, and so you need someone to help you come up with just process for you to come up with a smart goal, with your action plan to address anything, and not just the academic or the professional transition from clinical teaching into the teaching profession. But they're here, and that's another support support service that we want to offer you. And we're working closely with the Academy for Teacher Excellence and the College of Ed Student Success Center to offer that social emotional self-coaching support. So you will be receiving follow-up email, and I found out what the issue was with 4 through 8 and secondary level YLPE2 that did not receive emails, and I really apologize. Yes, after I did some digging, I found out. And so there was some confusion. It's resolved. And thank you for bringing it up. Yes. Dr. Song, she's amazing. We were yesterday looking at like, okay, we found where the glitch was. And as I said, you'll be receiving both. It will be posted on Blackboard as an announcement, and an email is going to be sent out to you, because once again, on Blackboard, it goes to everybody, second semester clinical teachers, and then and all of you. And then the email is just going to be for all of you. Because during your first semester, you will have that priority to receive that support. Others they already have their coach assigned to them. And it is optional. This is not a requirement. So you just have to fill out the form that you want the support, and somebody will contact you, and they'll be able to meet with you on a weekly basis during the semester to help you just process and have a successful semester. So now that we're done with this piece, and that you know the leader model, I'm gonna ask you what would you like to do this afternoon? We can spend 10 more minutes, 10, 15 minutes, so we can put closure, or we can give you 15 minutes for you to go and have a break, and then come back and we'll continue.
Wow, what a shock.
Finish? Okay, so very quickly, and of course, Dr. Guerra, she's not here, so we're modifying. She goes a lot into the theory, and then also the practice. And right now, we just focus on the practice. We want for you to take this with you. Now, the other thing, if you don't have paper, and if you don't have anything to write, and you have a student that has a challenge, how would you do this activity with a student? How many words are on Libre? 5. Libre. So you memorize Libre, and then you think of the prompts, and even without having to write or do the organizer, very quickly use it with the student to process, to help the student in whatever that situation is. It can be in the classroom, and you isolate the student while the other ones are working, or if he's out in the playground. So those are just some ideas. In what, based on the level that you're going to be teaching, how do you see yourself Or do you see yourself, implementing this graphic organizer? Okay, I see some of you nodding and others, not, and that's perfectly fine. So, some of you, what are the benefits? What are the benefits for you to, utilize this graphic organizer?
I just think as this becomes a habit, then it becomes less overwhelming. If it becomes a pattern of what you do, how you plan your lessons, how you plan your day, your week, your month, your life, it becomes natural and less overwhelming.
Yes, and then, as it becomes a habit, it's just, something that you can do very easily. Yes, that's going back to the strength-based problem-solving approach. What do you think, is named strength-based? Okay, because, this allows you to use the person's, strengths. You are not telling them what to do. You're not putting yourself, putting your words on the, organizer. Is the students. Yes. And,
Anybody else?
how do you see, you implementing, this graphic organizer?
Maybe during the morning meeting.
Very good. Can somebody elaborate if you use it in the, morning meeting? How would that look like?
I feel like it could be a good way to start your day because you're looking at things in a more positive way than rather a deficit way.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Technically use this like as a class exercise too, so you can get all the students to do, so like say they're doing something in English and they're having trouble with pop. They can list all the stuff, how are they having trouble, how can they fix it, you can do it after.
Yes, excellent idea. Anybody else? Okay, so this is the first part. There's a second part that addresses engagement styles. And the engagement styles, you can identify just by the student completing this graphic organizer. You can identify if your student is goal focused, that is a goal focused student, is going to go through all the process, fill out, have with no problem, fill out every phase, and have an action plan, encouragement work. The actual engaged students, the goal focused, they're going to go through the whole process. Then you're going to have the students that they just vent. So you're venting, and they're going to start and sprinkle here and there and never finish. And every time you have a session like that, it just happens again. And that's fine because they're processing, and all they need is just get it out of the system. They need to vent. And then the other area is the potential engage. So for engagement styles. So when you get the student that is potential, yes, they're gonna fill it out, and basically they're gonna tell you that they're gonna be completing it. And they're gonna come to their action plan, to some of the steps. But then, they'll stop, not really have a strong plan, and then they won't do anything about it. They'll take it, like the student that is, venting or potential. That's all it is. It's just, something to help them process, and it's fine. But then you have to go focus and the actual engage. And I saw several of you here that, you had a good plan and you're gonna go and put it in practice. You're gonna go and use it. So that's the other way where you can, identify students' engagement style and modify your instruction based on that, engagement style. And, the other thing is that, do you think that you have engagement style to be successful? No. We had, secondary level, clinical teacher that became a teacher, and we worked with this group because we got a grant. We were able to complete this and then utilize the engagement style quadrant and identify. And of course, they're working, with trained counseling students, and they're helping. So we're seeing, the students that sometimes they're actually engaged, sometimes they're, venting. And this one particular student said, or teacher said, I feel that as a classroom teacher, I go through all four styles during the day. You're having to make so many decisions. You have to, act and, come up with, solutions. So, and starting with the morning, that you're very, go forward, you have to do this, and you have certain things that you have to take care of. And then, as the day is progressing, you go from one style to another. So that is the, Dr. Guerra comes and shows you how, you can identify those, engagement styles and how you can work with your students to modify your, lessons. I just wanted to, close with, these keys that, there is more to the graphic organizer. From the graphic organizer, then you, that can help you for you to modify, and make accommodations in the class because your classroom is very, diverse. Okay, I'm just gonna ask, a couple of you, to volunteer and tell me, something that you learned and that you're taking away from, this, session.
I think student data.
Oh, yes, that's a big concern for everybody, yes. Okay, anybody else? Yes, that there are tools to check on the student's, well-being. Yes, because you can identify, as a classroom teacher, you need to take care of yourself, but you need to make sure that, your students are also, doing well. Yes, yes. Okay, anybody else? Did somebody say something over there? Yes.
Whether you use this tool or another tool or a different model, it's always good to kind of break down what your issue is. Try to focus it in and see what you can use. And that way it doesn't Like, what are you thinking of?
Thank you very much. And, here, I just need to say, like I said, we have those, to work, with you. I'm not gonna take more time. Enjoy your, afternoon. We're gonna continue, contacting the school districts, finalizing placement. And, probably there's a handful of you that I need to move from one supervisor to another. So just be patient, and I'm gonna be here, so if you need to, speak with me, if you have any questions, I'm here.